guessing they died from something that made them dead.
Oh my god, he's a wizard!
Why do these ghosts always have really specific messages, but simultaneously can only remember the first letter of their own fucking names? Anyway, it suddenly hit me, either this guy is actually talking to the dead, which will completely revolutionize modern science, or this motherfucker is taking advantage of fragile people who are grieving for their loved ones, and he's doing it for monetary gain. Which is a very special flavor of evil, I hope you will agree. It destroyed my faith in psychics, and gave me, shall we say, an overly passionate dislike of people making big metaphysical claims they couldn't back up. And every time I came across people at parties or over dinner who hinted at even the most gentle metaphysical sentiments, everything happens for a reason, or whatever, I became, there is no other way to put it, an obnoxious dick. Because I associated all of them with this one guy I'd seen on TV. I was insufferable. Years later, however, I was eating dinner with some friends, and a friend of a friend had joined. The new guy noticed I wasn't eating meat and asked, and I said, I'm not really into it, and attempted to leave the thing there. But he followed it with, well, if you care about animals so much, why are you still eating dairy products? That's cheese on your plate, isn't it? I said. Anyway, well, he continued for some time, I mean, you're not really making a difference. You're probably just trying to demonstrate how morally superior you think you are to everyone else. Yes, that's a fair point, I said. In a universe where I'm a Buddhist monk. In this universe, I said, go fuck yourself, and who the fuck are you anyway? And of course, an argument began, ruining dinner completely. Months later though, somehow we calmed down and discussed the incident, him and I. And he was decent enough to explain that he had a roommate who constantly yelled at him for enjoying steak or bangers and mash or whatever, and he had automatically put me into that very same camp. Much like I had believed anyone who wasn't a hardcore scientific materialist like me must be a con artist. And that was kind of humbling, because I was no more going to yell at him for enjoying a bratwurst than those poor people I'd been mean to over dinner were going to con me out of money to talk to my dead childhood hamster. And it seemed suddenly that arguments about ideas usually rely on two fundamental constants. One, everyone thinks they're being reasonable, however insane their position is. And two, no one's going to change their mind by getting called a dick. Looking back on that unpleasant dinner, I should have just calmed down and said, you seem a bit irritated, mate. What's up? And we probably could have sorted things there and then. But my pride was hurt, and that was all I could think about. Some days you're the pigeon, some days you're the statue, and almost all of us are ignorant about almost everything. The world is too big not to be. But miraculously finding the mental strength to say, alright mate, you seem a bit annoyed, let's talk about it, is always going to get a better result than go fuck yourself. It relies on constantly remembering that the primary characteristic of a silly person is that they think they're clever, and usually enjoy insisting that they're correct about everything, which makes admitting to ignorance a rather rare and endearing virtue. In other words, what would Socrates do? That's a very different mantra, by the way, to what would Diogenes do, because the answer to that one would be piss on people you disagree with and take a shit in the theatre. Incidentally, just a small personal request to the New Theatre Royal in Portsmouth. Please give my season ticket back. I promise I won't do it again. Despite our species being the smartest smarty pantsers on the planet, human children are some of the most helpless infants in the entire animal kingdom. Baby giraffes can stand up just hours after their birth, but it takes our infants years before they can be left unsupervised. That means we have to take care of them for a long time, out of nothing but kindness. That's me, by the way, back when I couldn't stand up and lived on a liquid diet, so not much has changed really. Cheers! I often marvel at the fact my mum and dad spent all that time raising me and protecting me and teaching me. They did it because they are kind. It is a debt I can never repay, and they wouldn't expect me to either. That kindness is what kept me alive, and some variation of it was what kept all of us alive in those early years. Do you know, a lower jawbone was found in Dmanisi, Georgia, some time back now. It belonged to a member of the Homo erectus family, our now extinct human cousins. He was a male of about 40 years old who lived probably 2 million years ago. The jaw is missing all its teeth except for one, and we know he lived a long time like that, which means someone was helping him to eat. 2 million years ago, someone was feeding him. Someone cared about him. Maybe someone loved him. Back in deep time, even before our species began, a person or a group was practicing compassion. Someone was being kind for the sake of being kind. I think about that 2 million year old jawbone a lot these days. I like to imagine a little pack of our evolutionary cousins huddled around a fire, knowing little, understanding even less, before recourse to reason or law or history, before currency and standing armies, before socks, and probably with no concept that one day, 2 million years in the future, their cousins, us, would build this incredible global project of civilization. And if there was some way we could have shown our cousins and ancestors just how far humans would one day come, everything would seem alien to them, except perhaps for compassion. Because though they lived in perpetual ignorance, though they were incorrect about almost everything all the time, from that jawbone in Georgia, from other ancient skeletons telling almost exactly the same story, we know that they had kindness. And it is the same kindness that today raises our kids and takes care of our elderly. It's the same kindness that provides disaster relief and medical aid, the same kindness that sustains friendships and writes love letters. Do you ever get that weird wow moment sometimes when you realize that the future isn't just this abstract sci-fi place with hover cars or whatever? It's actually coming. Like one day it will actually be the 22nd and 23rd centuries, and they'll be just as pedestrian and real as the 21st century is to us. And then do you ever get that second wow moment when you realize that making it to those centuries isn't actually guaranteed, that we could drop the ball at any moment, and you think, my god, is anyone making sure we're gonna be okay? Is anyone actually steering the ship? Because those sure are some big waves over there, and we've never been this far out to sea before. And maybe if we squint really hard, we can just about make out the promise of land centuries ahead. But between the future and us are 10,000 furious storms of warfare and infighting, and God knows we're in a crisis right this minute. But our ancestors have been here before, living forever on the knife edge of ignorance and death, at the constant mercy of systems inside and outside themselves that they did not understand, just like us today. And if there was one thing, alongside intelligence and technology and wisdom, if there was one thing that sustained them, if there was one thing that got them through, their bones are indisputable. It was compassion. It was kindness. Doubtless, we will screw up in the future with 1 million times the efficiency that we screwed up in the past. We cannot and will never be correct about everything all the time. Ignorance is in our bones, but kindness is in our DNA. And if anyone says otherwise, just tell them to fuck off. With love, obviously. With love. Oh hi! Thanks for sitting through that. 2 things. Firstly, I hope you enjoyed the opening animation because it was made by my best mate in the whole world, Mr. Jimmy Cakeshoes. He's just starting out on here and has a channel with a brilliant parody of Star Wars Episode 3, which I laughed my arse off to, and I'm quite sure you will as well. There is a link below if you'd like to go and check it out, or say hi, or wish him dead, etc. It is an honor to have you working by my side, my man, and I'm just incredibly proud of you. Second thing, I made a video a while ago called Thoughts About Writing, where I was trying to get down everything I wish I'd known about writing when I started writing, but it was too bollocksy and abstract and it didn't work. So what I have done is make some mini podcast episodes, if you like, all about what to do if you're a creative type and you're having creative problems, and also how to even get started with writing or whatever else you want to do art-wise. We will cover everything from finding inspiration to getting the sads to creative burnout to avoiding dark web narcotics. The first few episodes are up on a separate channel, there's a link below, and I will be uploading some more in the coming weeks. That's the plan, anyway. I really hope you like them, I really hope they help with your creative endeavors. Big love, hope you're keeping safe, hope you're well. New book coming soon, promise. Dislike, unsubscribe, I detest you, goodbye.